Now I really see that this movie has really lived up to its name. And to be quite frank, I am a really big time fan of Marvel and DC comic movies. Actually, also the comic books themselves. I grew up where my dad has um, boxes of comic books from the Archie productions to the DC comics to the Marvel comics to even the little comics that's in the newspaper. So I grew up with those. But I will say this: the actors, even though there weren't a lot of actors that were white, it was more of a black or African, I should say, African cast. I really, really appreciated that. And this time, this movie, you know how there are some movies where even though you try to put a few Africans in the movie or a few blacks or however you want to call it in the movie, it's as if, they're depicted in a certain way. Whereas everybody in this movie played their role and they played it very well. Very well. I will say, I really, truly, wholeheartedly say that. They really, you can feel from beginning, like the moment when the last preview of the newest movie was coming out, and I want to say either it was Tomb Raider, no, it was another Marvel comic. I want to say it was Venom, and literally after that preview was over, and immediately when it came on, everybody in the theater was quiet. I don't think there was a soul that left out of that auditorium tonight. I don't think there was a soul that went to the washroom during the movie because there a lot of these movies there are just parts that you can skip over. But this movie, when I say this movie, and I'm not being biased, this movie you cannot leave during the show. Like you cannot. During this film, you cannot. You cannot leave this show. You cannot leave it. Because there is something you're going to miss. There is a message that is going to be told that you need to key in and listen to. There is something from the past that they will show you, or from the present or the future, maybe. You just don't want to leave. And trust me, I had to go to the bathroom more than one time, and I had to hold it through the entire. And I take medicine, so I take diuretics where I need the fluid retention in my system has to be released. And when I take my medicine, I had to take my medicine early because I knew I was going to the show tonight. So I say this: do not leave. If you get food from the concession stand, one, I advise you eat before you leave to go to the movie because it's that important. I advise you, if you do go to the concession stand and get something to eat, get something very light, get something very small. Because trust me, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom. Um, Throughout the movie, there were a lot of lessons that were brought to my attention that a lot of people, I think almost everybody, I don't care if you're a European or if you're from European descent, from African descent, Japanese, or from Asian descent, or anywhere, anything, you have the capability of understanding certain messages in this movie and you can relate to it. That's what I like about not just Marvel Comics, but even DC Comics. There are just certain things that you see and listen to that you can honestly relate to. And this movie was one of those things. And for once, this movie especially with all the things that not just Americans, but specifically because this is what this is the main topic. Africans and now with this Florida shooting at the high school at Parkland and all these things that are going on throughout this entire year thus far, and we're only in February, and everything that happened last year, all last year, and the stuff that happened all 2016, like there's a lot that went on, not only here in the States, but in other countries and other places. So for me, I feel as though this movie is a movie about unity. This movie was about reuniting family bonds, but breaking down barriers. Um, but also, this movie was about understanding the depth of knowing who you are, and even in the midst of you losing yourself, there is always that little person on the side of your shoulder that's saying, "Hey, you got this. Hey, we're in this together." Rather if it's a loved one that's been deceased or a loved one who's alive in your life that's proactive and they want to give you that encouragement that you know that you need, because everybody needs encouragement. Everybody needs it. That couple of those things, I'm not even gonna blame you. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I cried in the beginning. Few parts, I cried. Now I know that I didn't. Now I will. I don't know if anybody out there that's watching this video, if they're familiar with DC and Marvel comic movies, but at the end, please don't leave. If you're watching this tonight, tomorrow, I just hope you see this video before you go. Do not, do not leave as soon as the credits roll. Don't do it. And even after you see the first scene, because people have a really bad habit. That's how you know in the movies, when people leave after the credits, and it's a comic book film, that's how you know that they're not used to seeing comic book films, because they don't know to stay. Because there's always something. There's always a little catch. There's always something. Even like scary movies, and I think almost any film that's really important, that may come out with a sequel to it, or a follow-up movie, or a pickup, like a to be continued, or a cliffhanger is what we call it in the film industry. You seriously need to stay for both scenes. There's two. That's the only spoiler alert that I would give you. But other than that, it was a really overall great movie. It was a lot of action, and I didn't go to a movie where it had Dolby Atmos sounds, and I didn't go see it in 3D. I didn't go to a place where I sat in recliners, all the little, bells and whistles that I would normally get or I would normally go to. I just wanted to simply go out and watch the film and literally dissect it, analyze it, understand it, comprehend it, and take something from it. And believe you me, I have taken a lot of things from that movie. This is also a movie that you would like to go see twice. Now, I know that I personally wanted to not see it the first opening weekend, only because I know how, I'm sorry, but I know how some of our people get when we're in the movies and it's about us, or it's about reuniting, or if it's about slavery or fighting, or about our favorite celebrity. I get it. It can get out of hand. It really can. However, this time I could truly say, because I've worked in movie theaters before, where I've had to break up fights, so we've had to call cops and things like that because people got out of hand. But this, even though it was very crowded, everybody and their mama was out, and we were dressed to the nine. Like I came looking like this. I had jeans on. I have on my knee high UGG boots that I've reviewed a couple of years back on here. But there were a ton of people that we had vendors at this. They had vendors at the movie theater, selling everything, which is cool. You gotta get gotta get your coin. I'm not mad at it. I'm actually glad that this movie theater allowed that. The way how you enter in the movie theater, it was surrounded with black and gold color balloons and streamers, and they were really pumping this movie. Like they literally had a banner that said Black Panther. Like they were pumping this movie for the night. And to me, I was really gone cold with the talent show. I really was. So I suggest that you go see this movie. Actually, I'm actually gonna go see this again on Saturday. Um, and I think when you watch movies like this, you by all means, I'm not hyping this movie up, but I kind of am, because I want to see everybody in that movie win. I really do. They've been winning. Um, I think I've seen Get Out more, like maybe 6 times, and it gets better for me every time. So my boy is in it from Get Out, who was the boyfriend in the movie. Uh, Michael B. Jordan is in the movie. Forrest Whitaker is in the movie. Angela Bassett, God, yes. Um, uh, what's that girl's name? Yingo. Ah, crap, I forgot the girl's name. But she was in 12 Years a Slave. She's in it. Um, a lot of other characters are in it, but they all did a really good job, and they complement each other with this film. Like you would think behind the scenes it's tension, but I've looked at the history of Black Panther. I've watched the interviews from the director who was black, from the writer who was black, who's the same person who directed the film. Um, I've looked at the interviews from the cast of all of them, who did do a interview, and trust me, like they really complemented each other, and I think that's what makes a movie what it is. So go see it. Go, promote it if you can. Um, even if, and this is a movie that would be, even if you don't like go with people or whatever, because I'm the kind of person that I don't mind going to movies by myself. This is one of those movies that hey, get your popcorn, get your drink, get your nachos, get pretzels and cheese, get your hot dog, get your drink, get your icy, and get your pizza, or and your little drinky drink. If you need a recliner, get the recliner. Don't just have it all the way back, because then you're going to be sitting at the edge of your seat. Like, seriously. There's a little bit of romance in it. It's a little bit of everything. That's what I love about certain movies. It's a little bit of everything. And when it's a little bit of everything, you can really grasp and you can really get the concept. And it's not all over the place. It's a flow. That's what I love about movies like this. There's a flow to it. And when you have a flow to a certain movie, it's like you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. But I love you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and my take on it. Um, and if you did see it tonight, or if you see it the next day, or throughout the first couple of weeks, write a comment down below or share your thoughts. Or what is your partake in it? It doesn't matter what cloth you're from, or what place you're from, or what's your background, or your religious beliefs, or whatever. Just comment and let me know what you think. I love you guys for watching. As always, thank you. Subscribe to my channel. And I will be back. But so far, this is your girl Mor-Gan, and long live the king. Bye.